So I got this story from North India from a friend, and he tells me my pronunciation is a little odd, but I'm sure you'll understand. And it starts with a wedding, the wedding of the bride. The bride is Basma and her husband. The word for husband is Shuha. And the wedding was wonderful, and the ceremony and the feasting afterwards was wonderful. There was kahari, which is a kind of a goat stew, and there was even a shrimp version. And then there was the sweetest, stickiest sardi that you've ever tasted. And when you drank the lassi, it went down your throat like honeyed silk. And then there were the tears. The bride's mother wept. The bride's sisters sobbed. For they were losing their Basna. As tradition would have it, she must go to live in the household of her husband. And Basma was weeping too, but she was weeping for joy, for she was now a wife, and she was going to be the best wife in the world. In the house of her husband, she was delighted. She was delighted to find that the rooms that they would share were large, warm in the morning, shaded in the afternoon. There were beautiful silk hangings on the walls. There was white, smooth cotton on the day couch. And in the corner, just for her, privately, was an area where was a prayer mat, just in case later on in the marriage she couldn't get to the mosque when the babies came. And she was happy. She felt her future was going to be perfect. But in the morning, when her husband left for work, and she remained to look after the house with her mother-in-law, things were not quite so good. It didn't matter which way she swept the floor. Her mother-in-law, Sasushi, and that is the respectful term, Sasushi, said, no, 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 too much dust. And if she tidied the room, no, 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 said Sasushi, you have put the ornaments too near the edge of the shelf. Don't you know anything, girl? She always called her girl. She called her Yaki, not Bas. If she stirred the dal one way, it should have been stirred the other way. And the chapatis, palm to palm, no, 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 you do it like that. You'll stick your thumb through it. She was so unhappy, Basma, that she spoke with her husband and she said, I cannot please your mother. Speak with her, please. Speak with her. But her husband said, no, 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 no. You must try harder. Things will improve. And did they improve? Let me tell you what happened on the day when the laundry was hung on the line. Basma had just put the last garment on the line when behind her she heard a bawling louder than a bull elephant. And there was her mother-in-law shouting at her. Do you know what she shouted? She shouted, the kameez, you have hung that by the hem. The arms are drooping damply. If you want the society to see that you have a good, strong husband, you must hang his shirt, must pin it by the shoulders, and then you will be proud. So sorry, Sushi. So sorry, Sasushi. And you're shameless. Look what you have done with my shalwa. You have hung those on the line like French pantaloons. How dare you? You should take them, you should fold them one leg to the next leg, and then drape them over the line like a gentle wrap of fabric. Her Basna felt that she'd had cold steel plunged into the depths of her soul. And so unhappy was she that that evening she spoke with her husband and she said, Shuha, husband, I think maybe I should go back home. Maybe if I spend some time with my mother, I will learn to be a better wife. Her husband simply looked at her and said, no. If you leave now when you have not yet been my wife for 1 year, it will be a disgrace for the family. People will think I'm a bad husband. They will see you are a bad wife. And so Basma stayed. At night, in the darkness, she planned darkness in her heart. It was market day. She took her basket, ready to leave. Her mother-in-law shook her finger and said, girl, yucky, don't you be gossiping in the market. I know you for an idle girl. You come back here. When you've finished, you come back here. There's work to be done. And Basma walked slowly away from the house without looking back. And in the market, she bought the apricots and the mango, a small cheese, and some fresh green herbs which she laid on the top. And when she was ready to return, she didn't. She walked away quietly in the opposite direction to the edge of the town until she got to the house of the wise woman. She pushed open the door and the room was dimly lit. She couldn't see, but the scent was that was cumin, coriander, for sure, maybe sumac. But there was so much, a fog of fragrance, she couldn't identify each one. And then she noticed a tall woman standing beside her, her hair loosely covered with fabric. You've come to see me? Yes, said Basma. You see, I haven't been married long. Ah, said the wise woman. You sure have. No, said Basma. My husband, he's good. It's my mother-in-law. She's unkind to me. Cruel, cold, and unkind. I want you to give me something so that I can get rid of her. You want to be rid of your mother-in-law? Yes. Forever. I want to be rid of her forever. You want to be rid of your mother-in-law forever? Yes. The wise woman reached to a shelf and took down a small glass bottle, pulled out the stopper, put it back in greasy, put it to one side. She took down a brass bowl and ran her fingers through the white powder. No, that's not the right stuff. And she took a small white porcelain pot and covered it and dipped her finger in and rubbed the creamy ointment between the finger and thumb. And said to Basma, this should do it. You must find every opportunity to take a fingertip of cream and rub it onto the skin of your mother-in-law. Gently rub it in wherever you can. Back in the house, mother-in-law said, where do you think you've been? You're late. I'm getting the meal ready. And look at those herbs, those fresh green herbs. You left them in the sun. They are withered and they are dry. Wash them in cold water and then chop them for me. So Basma got the chopping board and the wet, cold, very fresh herbs, and she got a sharp knife. And with that knife, she chopped the herbs. Chop, until they were bruised and slit and chopped into tiny pieces. And then she turned and she pushed those herbs into the oil. But the oil was hot and the herbs were wet and the fat spat all over the hand of her mother-in-law. Basma recognized her opportunity and she took the little pot and a fingertip of cream and she rubbed it onto the blistered skin, thinking to herself, I'll be rid of you. I'll be rid of you. The next day, they're tidying the house. The mother-in-law knocked an ornament from the shelf, and as she bent down to pick it up, oh, my back, my back. That's your fault, girl. Yaki, that's your fault. You put it too near the edge. Oh, and Basma saw her opportunity, and she took the ointment, just a fingertip, and she rubbed it carefully into her mother-in-law's sore back. Day after day, week after week, month after month, whenever she had the opportunity, she would rub the ointment into her mother-in-law's skin, slowly and gently. But strangely, while she was doing this, the mother-in-law began to speak. She began to talk about herself, and she told Basma of the time when she'd been a girl and how she'd had a wonderful childhood with her sisters, and how her parents had found her a good match of a husband, but how her mother-in-law had been cold and unkind. And not just with words either. She'd been beaten by her mother-in-law, and she showed Basma the scars on her arms, and Basma saw another opportunity, and she took some ointment and she rubbed that ointment into the scars. And as she rubbed, she thought about her mother-in-law's life, and she began to pity her a little, and maybe to understand her a little more. One day, she was just about to rub more ointment into her mother-in-law's skin. She looked into the pot. Oh! It was empty. She flew out of that door without even covering her head. She ran and she ran and she ran. She did not stop until she reached the wise woman's home. She pushed the door open. She ran straight in, shouting, I need an antidote. I want the antidote. I want the antidote. And the wise woman stood, shook her head. I remember you, Basma. You asked for the ointment to get rid of your mother-in-law. You wanted to be rid of your unkind mother-in-law forever. Yes, I know, and now I want the antidote. Basma, there is no antidote. I've changed my mind. I want the antidote. Basma, there is no antidote. But she's changed. Basma, there is no antidote. The wise woman stood there calmly. Basma began to think. There is no antidote. And the wise woman said, you wanted a cream, you wanted something to get rid of your unkind mother-in-law. Did it work? And Basma smiled. The wise woman said, I have a small gift for you. It's the same cream that I gave you before, just a little pot, the one with the scent of jasmine and sandalwood. I give you this to use on your mother-in-law. And if you rub a little in, whenever you have the opportunity, if you talk and you listen, you will be rid of your unkind mother-in-law forever. Thank you.